Hi, welcome into my channel. This channel is about the Big Bang, against the Big Bang. So in this video, I'll take on George Smooth. Not smooth, maybe smooth. Okay, this guy is asked by, so I cut from a video from internet. I comment the video, many astrophysics, astronomy and physics, things like this, because I am against the Big Bang. Okay, so the question is from where the atoms come, and the matter, the space time, the matter, carbon, hydrogen. So this is the question. This is the video I will comment today.
George, let's talk about the period of time between the end of inflation, after the singularity, whatever that is, and the incredible inflation ending in the hot Big Bang and this enormous explosion of hot gases that was almost all uniform. And today we see these clusters of galaxies and stars and planets. Let's talk about the intermediary. For how do you go from this hot plasma, which there's really almost no atoms, nothing formed, everything too hot, to where we have these structures today? What is that process?
Okay,
so he only put a question from where the matter comes. This is the way I made my videos. I'm saying like a tea science, coffee science. In Romania we say a glass of speech, speak, like it is an expression. Okay, I'm from Europe, from Romania. So I discovered the Big Bang is false. So that's why this is like in Romanian, it has much more sense. Like a glass of speech or speaking. This is the justification for my channel. In every video I have a glass of something. Maybe even a juicy fruit or something like this. Okay, so this is the question, from where the matter came to be. You see rocks, the carbon, oxygen, you know, you are not stupid, okay, you know this stuff. This is copper, okay. So this is their answer. So let me insert for you this part, how the matter came, the official explanation. Okay, this is the official explanation.
I think of it in a series of steps. And so if we start at the end of inflation, right, and we have this incredibly, we have this tremendously rapidly expanding universe. It's very hot, it's very dense, there's all this material out there. But you start out with what we call the quark-gluon plasma. That is, the universe is broken down into these tiny particles. We think they're point-like. And it's electrons and the quarks.
There are no atoms. It's too hot to have
There's
atoms.
no protons and neutrons yet.
Yeah, right.
Okay, and so then we go through the first phase, which is when the universe expands. It keeps cooling, right? The expansion is critical. It cools down, so this rapid interaction rate slows down, and it gets less dense. And there comes a time when three quarks can come together and form a proton or a neutron. They're doing that regularly, but then they're being blown back apart by the energy and by the fact that they're dense enough. But there comes a time when they can do that. So in the very early universe, because there's so much energy can be converted into matter and antimatter and vice versa. There's all these chemical reactions, equivalent to chemical reactions going on. And you have essentially equal amounts of matter and antimatter in the beginning of the universe. And that is equal amounts of quarks and antiquarks. And so most of the time the quarks are annihilating, but for some reason there's an excess of about a part in a billion of matter over antimatter, whereas early we think they were very equal. So there's a tricky thing that has to go on there.
So after you watch that, this is what I want to tell you, that we do not know from where the matter came to be. We do not know, okay? So in the Bible it is presented like it already was, the earth was, says, so the earth means all the elements, it was covered by water, and God said that the water, so it is already presented, all the matter, it is presented. So, but it in this try to answer from where the matter came, they took this, like in all philosophy, reductionist philosophy, to reduce all the matter at something. And he says, to a principle, the old philosophers, Greek philosophers, stupid stupid philosophers, okay? They try to reduce the entire reality like to something. Some of them said that it is water that combines itself. They observed that the water, it is solid, and so they observed that so it could be that it is water. So more advanced philosophers said that it is like hyperon, like it's not a matter per se, like a name, like a substance, and this substance combines itself. You do not believe that this is the same bullshit story. You do not believe. So through this Big Bang, they do not have the way how to make copper. They are lying. But everyone that somebody saw on this earth how to make copper from fire. He says like from quarks, and this is what I want to tell you. So this is the same stupid stories that the ancient philosopher presented. So the only argument that they trick your eyes and your mind is like a spatial argument. So somehow if you go with the space back, you obtain all the things in one space, because all the objects that interact with us are spatial, space-time objects, okay? So you cannot identify a single principle in physics to unite everything, to collapse in a single point of origin. And because they do not understand what is the gravity, he said that gravity does this. If you gather somehow all objects, so the procedure is a line procedure, like a spatial procedure. Simply you put everything in one place and you collapse the space. But can something produce this? And then they pretend that does not collapse it creates it somehow. An explosion, okay, creates a soup, a particle soup. These particles, he says like from Weinberg book, like I've read a book. It is a crazy book to make money. You do not believe. In this way they were giving antiparticles and particles. Everything had an antiparticle. Carbon, anti-carbon. Do you believe that is anti-iron somewhere? So, but this is the same mistake that the old stupid philosophers before Christ made, like Anaximene, Anaximandro, Anaxagoras, these guys, Stalin from Miller. They said that you can reduce the entire reality of something, but you can reduce at fire everything. Can you destroy everything in fire? He says like this.
And Andrei Sakharov, a famous Russian dissident and after he was father of the Russian hydrogen bomb, set down the conditions why that might happen, and we're still studying and trying to understand that. But there's this light excess of matter or antimatter, and as the antimatter annihilates away, there's a few residual extra matter quarks left around. They start to form the protons and the neutrons, and they form equal numbers of protons and neutrons.
About how far into the universe time scale are we now?
We're talking 10 to the minus 12 seconds into, well, in the range of 10 to the minus 12 seconds down to 1,000th of a second.
Okay, so we're still within the first second.
Yeah, of course. I mean, all the action happens early, so you have to think of it on a on a sliding scale, right? And so it's powers of 10.
Right, logarithmic.
Right, because it's the beautiful thing about physics is that things happen on different levels. So the simplest stuff is up here at the highest energy level, and you form a building block, and from that you form more building blocks, right? So we start with space-time itself, and then we make quarks, and then the quarks make the protons and neutrons. The next step that we're getting ready to go to is the protons and neutrons bind together to make the nuclei.
Right.
That is, they make the unbound proton as the hydrogen, and then you can bind 2 protons and 2 neutrons together and get helium, and so on, up to carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and everything else. And so what we're doing in the early universe is we're letting the protons and neutrons get together, but the hot radiation keeps blowing the protons and neutrons apart as soon as deuterium forms. Right. But eventually it cools down enough that the light elements can form, and we get sort of a lot of the neutrons decayed, leaving us with excess of protons. So 75% is just plain hydrogen, and 25% is helium. And there's a smattering of other stuff. There wasn't time. And then we're stuck. We have this primordial soup of hydrogen and helium. And it's in a hot plasma, and we have to wait the 400,000 years until atoms can form. It's just nuclei and free electrons.
And when are those nuclei forming, just to give us a time period?
Steven Weinberg has this beautiful book called The First 3 Minutes, right? And it's not about sex, it's about making the material in the universe. It's quite beautiful. And it's in the first 3 or 4 minutes is where most of this is happening.
And Weinberg, in Weinberg book, he falsifies the temperature. He says that you can obtain somehow temperature is a limit of function, okay? So this is how they are trying to lie to you. And some nice looking guy but they are lying to you. And you cannot obtain atoms, not even hydrogen atom, from any fire or quarks. These quarks are stupid. They're from so these quarks were invented by reading a paper from James Joyce's paper. A crazy guy, like it is a literature paper, and he's writing the paper about quarks, and he took the name. But can you obtain from quark soup something? This quarks do not exist even. You do not believe. Paul Dirac said like there's an antiparticle for everything, and in the 50s everything got an antiparticle. Like particle, antiparticle. You have particle, you put anti. What is this? Anti-Satanism. What is this? Satanic science. What is this? Do you believe that everybody is this stupid? So this is the way how you are being tricked. But we cannot know. We do not know a procedure to create matter at this hour. And they are lying to you. And they treat you like you are stupid. They treat you like you are stupid, okay? So, but let me tell you like this. Let's say that it is another volume of carbon, like atomic copper. This is copper. So maybe it's an alloy with zinc. Okay, because the copper is more reddish, like this is yellow. This is for water flowing. Like, okay, so let's suppose that it is a single atom like this. This is I almost broke my this cup. They suppose that this is an atom, okay? And you have another atom. You must understand that you cannot produce how they are saying first 3 minutes of the Big Bang. They are wrong, because this copper piece has time in it, and this copper piece has time in it. And if you gather the all temporal pieces on the observable universe, what they say universe, you cannot collapse the time beyond 3 minutes. There is an universal 3 minutes time on the entire planet Earth, but the entire planet Earth has much more time than 3 minutes. If you start the day, if you clock it from now, the spin begins of the Earth, and you can say that is the first 3 minutes of the day, but the entire planet, in this sense, the atoms, all the atoms have time in them, and there are many. If you are, let's say, 8 billion people will put some acid in something, the time it is in the same in this day, 24 hours, the time it is like of a reaction, it is like let's say like 10 seconds, okay, when you combine acid with something, and all the billion people on the planet make this combination, drop some acid in this day has 24 hours. But if you put 8 billion a reaction of one droplet of acid, you surpass 24 hours, the entire day of the Earth. So the time it is relative in the atoms, and you cannot time the 3 minutes of the. This was Weinberg was saying, and they were proposing that to explode the entire sheet of space already, because you have this problem, all the atom in a sheet of space, but then it would look for them crazy to say that a sheet of like a space exploded, all the atoms. So you understand that they do not have any coherent method to entail atoms. And they are lying to you with these children's stupid stories, but you cannot produce from quarks that do not exist atoms, nor even hydrogen. So then he goes to prove to you that he does not know what the science says and what it is. He says that gravity is attraction. So here this section.
And then we have to wait this longer period of time.
Then we have to wait 400,000 years till we can make atoms. That is, combine the universe expands and cools enough till we can actually have neutral atoms form. That is, electrons combine with the nuclei to form the kind of atoms we're used to in this room.
Right.
And once that happens, we have another time period to wait until those atoms can gather together to make the first generation of stars.
Through gravity.
Through gravity, right? So this original perturbations we saw allow gravitational attraction to pull material in and to build it up, very much the way the Earth must have been made, but before that, because we didn't have the materials to make the Earth yet. We have to cook the first set of elements in stars, right? And then the stars send out the first cooked up elements.
By blowing up in supernova.
Right. By blowing up supernova is the primary way, but they also stellar winds. You can get a fair amount out in stellar winds. But supernova are the primary way. And so you need this first generation of very massive stars that burn furiously. And
so he says that gravity attracts. Everybody says this. And you do not understand that these guys are crazy. Gravity is rotational vector, space over time, like this. So it does not attract anywhere. So, but this is very important. It is not dependent on mass. You move. Let's suppose, to understand what I say. Let's suppose that you push faster the entire planet, Earth. The gravity will increase because the gravity. So it is not calculated through mass. So it is clearly that some guys that nice jacket and some they appear to you to be smart and they are tricking to you. Gravity, space over time, that depends on mass. So it says that somehow gathers then to form start to explode. It starts to produce elements. So like we are like in a first generation of stars. Okay, so I will comment this video. I will let it for now like this. You cannot. The quarks do not exist and they were invented by them, and you cannot make from these psychopath particles and antiparticles atoms. You cannot make this. So their soup, it is quark soup. It is like an invention, a crazy invention. Everybody takes on this but does not exist. These particles do not exist. They are invented. So you can coagulate this craziness. How do you want? You will not contain atoms. Copper, iron, tungsten or platinum or anything. Through nothing. So the procedure, it is like a stupid procedure, like ancient did this to collapse, to reunite through something, but nothing unites all the phenomena of the physics. There's not a law, so their procedure having nothing, it only spatial. To go the space to zero, but nothing can bring the space to zero. Nothing. The gravity could not do this. That's why they are lying with the black holes and stuff. So this is the way I make my videos. The quarks do not exist. Maybe I will start to make like a daily vlog for a few days. Let's see. I will put one video, but besides Sunday, I do not make Sunday. Let's see. I have a few visualization, but let's try to make this for a few 10 days, 2 weeks. Let's see. But only for 2 weeks, a daily vlog. So this is my first from this series, a daily vlog. The Big Bang is false. We live in a spherical galaxy, not a spiral galaxy. That is surrounded by matter. The stars are put in clouds of matter. They are small. We can go to the stars. We can colonize the planets. Now we can colonize the planet. So you see, I have some wood here. Let's say that this is a time. This is one time. This is one time. You cannot bring them together. this is the entire length of the time. But now you can trick somebody in this way. You say that you collapse this, like, but you can't do this. You cannot do this, okay? But you can lie, or you can burn it. But if you burn this, can you make this wood back? This is what I want to tell you. This in simple manner, okay? I ignite this and I burn it. Can you produce the wood back? And through these quarks that they are lying, like you understand? So this procedure is to pretend that you can collapse the space, but you cannot. And then the second one, to pretend that you can compound this from fire, from soup fire, quarks. You did not hear this? Quarks. So you invent something, and this procedure is spatial only. And but you cannot bring the space. Nothing brings the pure space that like to make a small space from big space. You have a space, mathematical space, you make it small, nothing can make this. So, but if you approach, let's say that this is all the matter, and you approach it, you cannot collapse it any further than this. You understand? So you cannot bring it to the Big Bang. And you can set on fire this wood, but you cannot make it again. So this is simple. You see, I have some wood, okay? I have some wood, and for the explanation. Okay, so I will make a series, like daily, let's say 12 days, like a daily vlog. So this is I will make another video on this guy, okay? George Smooth Criminal, S-M-O-O-T, Smooth, but it is a smooth criminal. How Michael Jackson says, these guys are killing your cell brains, and they are pretending they didn't have formulas. And if you do not believe me, believe them to believe that you are stupid. The quarks do not exist, and you cannot create from hydrogen. If you are these children to believe craziness, you'll become crazy. Okay, goodbye. God bless. This is the way I make my videos. I have here a green tea, and like to have, as I already told you, in Romania I say un pahar de vorbă, like a glass of speech, of discourse. Okay, this is the first video. I'll make 12 in a row. Goodbye. God bless.